Hi, thanks for joining today. We're going to talk about the many benefits of stretching and how it can help you to develop a regular stretching routine. So first, let's talk about the importance of stretching for work. Now, I recognize that you all have different tasks and responsibilities, and your job and work environment looks different, but a regular stretching routine can help heal existing injuries, muscle aches and strains, and also prevent future muscle soreness or injuries, all by improving your circulation and your muscle flexibility. So this is one of the most important things about stretching regularly. Additionally, regardless of the work that you do, whether it may be at a desk, doing small repetitive movements all day, or be very physically demanding, and maybe you're climbing, crawling, lifting, using a lot of your strength, stretching can have a lot of physical benefits, but also a lot of mental health benefits as well. So the benefits of stretching include it's a stress reliever. It can help give yourself a break from some of the responsibilities and things that may cause stress by your job and allow you to relax both physically and mentally. So this list is not exhaustive, but here are some of the most important benefits of stretching regularly. Stretching can increase your energy and your circulation within your muscles. It increases your blood flow, which can also give you an energy boost. As I said, stretching can also lower your stress levels. Stretching regularly can increase or promote greater flexibility, and it can improve your balance. Stretching consistently can also heal many of those existing injuries or muscle aches and soreness that you might feel regularly, whether it's related to your job or things outside of your job. It can also reduce your injury risk. So the more that you improve that circulation, improve that flexibility of your muscles, the less likely you are to strain something or pull something by performing the tasks that you do throughout the day with your job. Stretching can also improve your posture, which is a really important one because so many of us, whether we're lifting, we can injure ourselves. If we're sitting at a desk, we can develop poor posture, but stretching consistently with the right types of movements can really help to improve posture and promote good posture overall. And believe it or not, stretching can actually lead to better quality sleep, which I think most of us would agree that we would love to experience. So here are some stretches we're going to go through today. I have 9 stretches that I'm going to walk through. You can also see a small description of each stretch, but a couple things I want to note before we get started. This is just kind of a general rule of thumb when it comes to stretching. As you do stretches, whether it's seated, standing, if it's specific to tasks that you do during the day, or if it's a pre-stretching session for exercise or a post-workout stretching session, there are some key important things to remember. So you want to start each stretch from a neutral position. That may be seated or standing, but you want everything to be aligned and you're in a neutral position, and use good posture as you begin. When you're stretching, you want to stretch only to the point of comfortable tension. So you want to feel that tension in whatever muscle it is you're stretching, but then you want to relax there and hold. You don't want to push past that point of initial tension. It's also important not to bounce, but hold a stretch consistently or stably. You want to stretch very slowly, and remember, it's very important to breathe consistently and regularly throughout your stretching. Holding your breath is kind of a common or easy thing to do, but you want to keep that breathing consistent as you stretch. And again, going back to that stretching tension, if you feel any pain when you're stretching, past the point of good tension and stretching, if it becomes painful, you should stop immediately what you're doing because you don't want to cause an injury or worsen something that may be already injured or a muscle that's maybe a little bit of inflammation or swelling on it. All right, so let's begin with the neck tilts. As I said, you want to start in a neutral position. You probably will do this one seated, but you can do it standing as well. Everything's in line, in a straight line with good posture, and you're just going to tilt your head side to side. You might start with slower movements first to kind of loosen it up, and then you can hold. So you're reaching, if you think about reaching your ear towards your shoulder, switch to the other side. And you you want to do this maybe 2 to 3 times on each side. You might be able to stretch a little bit further each one as those muscles in your neck kind of loosen up. And even though I'm talking, you may notice I'm breathing consistently. I'm not holding my breath. If you're not talking, it's a little easier to focus on this. You want to take nice deep breaths in and exhale out. Okay, now let's move to that head turn. So now you're going to turn your chin slowly left to right, going over that shoulder. And like I did the first time, I'm going to do just a couple small turns here to kind of loosen up that movement, especially if you're doing this right away in the morning or maybe you haven't moved much yet. Now I'm going to hold, looking over my left shoulder. Still breathing steadily. And I'm going to rotate to the right. There's not a magic number, and different stretches will vary on maybe how long you should hold them or may want to hold them. But if you're just kind of looking for a good general stretching routine, 10 is an easy number to shoot for. It's an easy number to count to. As you hold a stretch, get to 10 and switch to the other side. Again, you can do this one 2 to 3 times. Keep that breathing steady. Okay, now let's do some shoulder shrugs. Again, you can do this seated or standing. I'm sitting at my desk because this is consistent with what a lot of my workday often looks like. So I'm going to do these stretches in a way that I can easily take a few minutes to take a break throughout the day and complete them at my desk or at least in my office area. So we're going to raise the top of our shoulders up towards our ears, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, and relax. Depending where you feel tension or soreness, you might feel this between the shoulder blades or even in here. I'm even feeling it a little bit in my lower back. Lift those shoulders towards your ears, hold, and relax. Even though we're shrugging our shoulders, remember we want to have good posture as we do this. Let's do it one more time. Lift those shoulders, breathing steadily, and relax. Now we're going to go to the forearm stretch. So this is a pretty common one. I think this is an automatic. I just do this every morning when I wake up without even thinking about it. So you're going to interlace your fingers, stretch your arms out, facing your palms away from you. And as you do this, you're going to push your arms forward. I like to kind of shrug my shoulders forward as I do that, and I feel a little deeper stretch in my back as well. We can maybe hold this one a little bit longer, 10 to 20 seconds. And then relax. Shake those arms out if you need to. Let's repeat that one again. Interlace those fingers, push your palms away from you and forward. Shrug your shoulders. I like to add a little more to this stretch. Now I'll tuck my chin towards my chest and really feel that stretch in between my shoulder blades. Still breathing nice and steady. Hold that stretch and relax. Okay, let's move down to the shoulder and chest stretch. So now, if you are in a chair, you may need to scoot to the front of your chair, or you might even want to do this one standing up. You're not going to be able to see me real well in this one, but you can use the little icon there to refer to. So now you're going to interlace your fingers behind if you're able. If your shoulder flexibility doesn't allow that, you can just reach behind with both hands and then slowly raise those arms up and back until you feel that stretch really in the front of your shoulders here. You're doing both arms at the same time if possible. Let's hold that one for about 10 seconds while we breathe nice and steady. And then let those arms relax. Like I said, if you're able to reach your hands together behind your back, you can interlace your fingers this way behind your back and do that stretch. Otherwise, just reach both arms back behind you. Remember, we want to keep that good posture, neutral position as we sit up tall, but try to raise those arms behind us and hold. You might even feel this stretch into your arms, not just your shoulders, but maybe your upper arms. steady breathing, and relax. This is another common one a lot of people may do regularly. It's great for warming up if you're going to do some maybe strength training or general exercise, but it can also be really great for just reaching, lifting your day-to-day activities that you do on the job. So go ahead and reach one arm over your opposite shoulder. You can use your other hand to help you just a little bit. I like to. You don't want to push too hard, but you can kind of hold so that you're achieving that stretch. Feel it in your shoulder as you reach around. And as you're doing this, I know you can't tell that I am, but I'm trying to sit up really tall and keep good posture so that I'm doing myself a favor with my back muscles, my core muscles as I'm stretching. Go ahead and relax and then switch arms. Same thing on the other side. Reach your opposite arm over your opposite shoulder. You can give just a little push or hold here to get the stretch that you want. Remember, you want to feel that muscle tension. You want to feel the stretch, but you don't want it to be painful. If it is painful, you can modify and just not stretch as far. Sit tall with steady breathing and relax. Now we're going to do some upper body stretching. So again, we're going to interlace those fingers. Now we're going to reach up overhead. Turn your palms upward, so turn those hands like reaching towards the ceiling. Straighten your arms above you and extend, reaching as high as you can. You can do this again standing, or you can do it seated. Nice steady breaths in and out. Hold that about 15 to 20 seconds. And then bring those arms down, maybe shake them out if your shoulders are feeling a little tense from all the stretching. We're going to do another one here with our shoulders. We're going to reach behind our head. And if you're able, reach up and you can push just a little bit on the elbow or just hold it in place. So again, you want to feel that stretch. You should feel it on the outside and down the back of your shoulder and arm. Sitting tall. You also want to be careful when you're doing stretches like this. So I don't want my arm to be pushing my head forward too far to where I'm straining my neck muscles. So you kind of have to find the sweet spot there to where you're not pushing your head, for example, or straining your neck, but you're still getting that intended stretch. Now go ahead and switch, other arm. I got to realign just a little bit here so I'm not putting that added stress on my neck muscles. Sitting tall, breathing steady, and relax. Good. Bring those arms down to your sides. Okay, last one we're going to do is a back and hip stretch. So this one you will want to be seated for as much as possible. It would be a little more challenging to do standing, but you may be able to achieve that. So now let's start with our left leg bent over our right leg. And now you're going to twist. I know you can't see my legs, but you can use the icon there for a visual. And then you're going to twist against the leg that's crossed over. You can hold on kind of around your knee area. Maybe with your other hand, you have it back here on your hip as you twist, and you should really feel that both in your back and your hip. And just like with any of these stretches, you want to feel that gentle pressure and tension, but you don't want it to be painful. So if you need to modify, if you're not twisting very far at all, that's okay. You have to find what stretches for you, what feels good, and isn't going to cause any strains. Now go ahead and switch. Now cross that right leg over the left. You can twist against it, so maybe put your hand on your right knee or right leg as you twist. And it gets challenging as you're twisting, but you still want to think about good posture. So we don't want slumped shoulders. We want to sit up tall, keep everything else in line, and steady breathing. And come back to center. All right, so those are just a few easy, quick stretches that you can do, hopefully once a day, if not more. A lot of recommendations say to get up and stretch every hour, which for a lot of us may be manageable and for others it may not be. But even if you have 30 seconds to a minute that each hour you can stand up maybe or change positions from where you've been, take a little break. Remember, it's great for our mental state. It gives us a small little mental stress reliever to focus on something different. And as you're doing those stretches, it's great for that flexibility, increasing your circulation, having those physical benefits as well as the mental benefits. So as I said, stretching can be great for us on the job to prevent injuries and soreness from what we do every day, but there's also just a lot of general benefits for our health. So when regular stretching is implemented into your daily life, it can become a part of your body's just natural routine. Like I said, sometimes I wake up and I realize I'm doing several stretches without even thinking about it, which is really great for my body because I'm not even doing it intentionally necessarily, but you have to start somewhere to start to develop those habits. And with a lot of healthy habits, the benefits multiply, grow, the more long-term that you use them. So stretching for a couple days, you may not notice any relief from aches and pains or soreness, but if you implement this and try to do it consistently, at least once a day, maybe several times a day, for a longer term, you're going to start to feel and see those benefits with consistency. So the question really is, do you have 15 or 20 minutes a day that you can devote to stretching? And it doesn't have to be all at once. Like I said, you can break it up. Maybe it's a couple minutes right when you wake up, a couple minutes when you get to work, a couple minutes at lunch, a couple minutes after you're done working, and maybe a few minutes before you go to bed. It can add up quickly, but if you can even break it up into small little chunks, you can do yourself a lot of good with a short amount of time throughout the day. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.